Ready.
All right, it's 6 o'clock, and it's Tuesday, October 28th. Call the meeting to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Call the order. Would you say the state of purpose, please?
May our decisions today be made with wisdom, careful deliberation, and in the best interest of the city of Diamond Hill. May we display patience and kindness in our dealings with each other and all who are in attendance. And may any decision made today promote the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Diamond Hill and the enhancement of the city as a whole.
Lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Roll call. Can you let, get you to turn your mic on? There you go. You just read their names.
All right. Parrish.
Well, present.
Okay. Sutherland.
Here.
All right. Peters. Here. Lawson. Raymond.
Here.
And White. Here. All right.
And we have a quorum.
All right. So, can I get any confirmation or adjustments to the agenda? Make a motion.
A motion to approve.
First, second. Second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry. Parrish was the second. Peters made the motion. Tammy's not with us tonight, so we got trainee here.
Okay.
I think all of y'all met Jazz, haven't you? Very good. He's code enforcement officer and helps us out with the planning and zoning stuff too, so. Yes, okay. Yeah, we need you had first and second, now go ahead with the vote.
Can we do a roll call?
No, not a roll call, just,
All in favor?
there you go.
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Unanimous.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion for the approval of the minutes?
Parrish made the motion, so Sutherland made the second.
All in approval?
Aye.
Unanimous.
All right, do we have anything for the
No, we do not.
architectural review, the new business? All right, the first one. Robert Shayu has filed an application requesting a variance from the zoning ordinance, Article 3.4.7, to allow a covered patio addition within 11 feet of the rear yard property line. The address is 784, how you say it? Maui, okay, we'll make sure, circle. Tax parcel is 131A-0-01-064.000. The property is in a R6 zoning district. The rear yard setback for an addition is 20 feet. The variance is requested is 9 feet. The case file number is 202500630.
All right, if I may set the table, prior to doing that, I want to take care of a little housekeeping issues here. First of all, I'd like welcome everybody in the crowd. You'll have an opportunity to speak during the public hearings, and we're a little more informal than the city council is, so we kind of go with the flow, so you'll have plenty of time to talk. This body is a recommending body. The final approval will be by the city council on anything voted on tonight will be voted on by the city council on November the 4th, which is the following Tuesday, correct? Very good. All right, so we recommend they give the final approval. Let's see. Okay, as far as advertisement, for all of these, we have advertised these in the Seacoast Echo, our paper of record there. We've advertised them at the bulletin boards here at City Hall. For the variance case, we've also sent adjacent property owners within 400 feet of the address on Maui Circle notices of the variance request here and the opportunity to speak to us either by email, phone, or in person. And we've also placed a notice of this hearing on the property of Mr. Shayu there on Maui Circle. So we've met our notification requirements. Before we jump into this, I would like to introduce our new member of the Planning Commission, Michael White. He's taken Michael Bennett's place. I believe all of y'all had an opportunity to meet him, but
Still got
I
a
want
few
to
to meet down there.
yeah, I want to introduce him to the public also, those that are viewing at home or will review later. And I also like to take a moment to thank Michael Bennett for his service to the Planning and Zoning Commission and the time he spent here. He was an asset to us, and we're going to miss him, but we're glad to have another Michael take his place. All right, now to business. Robert Shayu has filed this variance request. As you can see on the page here, he's got an existing patio there. He wants to put a cover over it and screen it in, I believe is what it is. Just a cover on it. Okay. All right. So that would become then an addition to the house, cover over the patio. It falls to the setback rules on the main residence, in addition does, which is 20 feet from the rear property line. He meets it elsewhere, he just doesn't meet it there. Okay, so he's asking, now, he's asking for a variance of 9 feet instead of 20 feet. He wants it to be 11 feet. That's a difference of 9 feet there. So a 9-foot variance there for the rear yard setback. So, kind of sets the stage on that. Robert, Bob, you want to say anything?
Hi.
Go, here, step up to the mic, if you would, state your name and address, please, for the record.
Robert Shayu, 784 Maui Circle, Diamond Head. So the house sits on a lot that is small compared to the square footage of the house that's there. The patio that's there was poured there during the original construction of the home. It was uncovered. When I moved there, there was a hot tub on it. That hot tub is no longer there. The property line to the rear, the house was set back within the appropriate setbacks, I believe, but we just don't have the space available in the back to build a covered patio. There is a patio off the master bedroom that's identified on the plans as a owner's retreat. That's where I currently have my barbecue grill, my Blackstone grill, my fry cooker, and occasionally an egg smoker. I need a place to barbecue and to protect my equipment and to have some distance away from my home. I can't go through my sliding glass doors at my home now because it's impeded by the barbecue grills and things that are there. It's also not the ideal place to barbecue because it's, fairly close to the house right there. So I'm requesting this cover over this patio, this existing patio, to put this outdoor equipment there in order to entertain and to have a decent barbecue. And as far as I think as additional runoff, that would be Neil, the patio, the rain already hits that and runs off. So there's really no additional impact that I can tell to the runoff. And that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions for me?
What abuts the rear of this property when you want to put this,
It's a 6-foot shadow box fence.
on the other
And
side
there's
of the shadow box?
There's a
fence? What's
home
there?
on the other
Okay,
side,
there's
yes, sir.
somebody's backyard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what kind of roof are you proposing? Like a shed roof, a pitched roof?
Right. So I was considering initially some type of gazebo. Well, I'll just answer your question. It would be tied in with secure tie screws and all the appropriate hurricane stringers and basically slope off the existing roof line.
So it'd be like a shed roof, just something with
I guess, I'm not sure what you mean by shed roof. It'd be metal, gabaloomed or gray metal to match the shingles as close as golden metals can get
following
it.
the slope of the rear pitch of your roof? Is that what you're saying?
No, it would not follow the slope. It would be upward a little bit.
Attached,
Shed roof.
attached
Okay.
under the eave, attached under the roof line.
Yes, sir.
So you would attach this to your house and then there'll be posts out.
There will be, I think there's a drawing. I don't know if
There's a
there's
drawing of the patio, but I don't really see the,
No, there's not, that's not, we're not questioning I have a drawing here, a frame drawing.
of the
I mean,
proposed structure.
Yes, so. So there.
Would you call that a shed roof?
Okay.
Would you call that a shed roof? Sort of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, that's all.
He's got a gutter on the far end.
yeah.
I mean, it's well done. It's not as poor as some that I've seen, so that's, no, I mean, it's nicely done.
Yes.
Is it gonna be the width of the patio? Cause the patio's kinda narrow, or is it gonna be wider than the patio?
I think it's 1 foot wider.
So it's pretty much the size of the patio.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
And the ends, which are not shown, will have the wrapped, metal pieces that Golden sells to
Flashing.
enclose and
Yeah.
encapsulate it. All look real clean and finished.
Can we take a look? No.
Pat, did anybody, y'all sent out the letters, did
Great.
anybody respond?
Great question. There's been no one respond to this,
Okay.
either positive or negative, no response whatsoever.
We just need to know when you barbecue.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I didn't hear a crawfish pot out
That's
there,
what I was
that's
gonna
right.
Yeah, excuse me, I stand corrected. There was one person that came in to notify us that their address had changed. And they said that they had no problem whatsoever with this.
There you go.
Okay, good.
So there's been no objections
Okay.
whatsoever.
Has staff provided a recommendation?
Of course.
I move we accept the recommendation of the staff to approve.
I'll second
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
All right.
Assuming that was your
Well,
recommendation.
The recommendation is to approve,
Yeah.
yes. And I'll give you the reason why, okay? The reason why is, this house was built in 1998. They're set back 38 and a half feet from the front, all right? That's 18 and a half feet more than it had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they'd applied that 18 and a half feet to the back, it would have worked out perfectly there. But it was, like I said, in 1998, there was no city, that was the POA. I don't see that it impacts anyone else. I don't think I think it meets the requirements for a variance.
I agree. A motion to approve?
A second.
Oh, we already had a motion.
Okay.
Yeah. Second?
Yep.
All done.
All right.
Okay. All right.
favor?
Aye.
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 Was that unanimous?
That's unanimous.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right.
And we have your address, so we'll be coming.
All right, so I want to remind, oh, thank you. Applause from the audience. I want to, Bob,
Everybody's had his cooking, but
I want to remind you that it's next Tuesday at the council that the decision is made. This is a recommending body, so our recommendation to the council is to approve, okay? All right, thank you very much. I would if I was you. Thank you. Doesn't hurt. Okay. Yeah. Somebody's got a drawing up there, right?
It's right here.
You got it. That's the only one of its kind.
That's a lot of
All right, the next of the new business is to open a public hearing on a proposed text amendment to the landscaping ordinance, Article 5.9. The case file is 202500600.
All right. This is something that the council sent to us. They wanted us to hold a public hearing and look at the landscape ordinance and make sure that it's meeting our needs and what the citizens of Diamond Head want, as well as what the comprehensive plan states. So with that, if you would, Kurt, if you would open up the hearing, that would be nice.
All right, opening a hearing for any public hearing. Anyone wants to speak on it?
Landscape ordinance.
All right, the hearing's closed. All,
Now it's up to y'all to discuss.
all right, do you have any discussion on this public hearing on the text amendment to the landscaping ordinance?
Okay, what's the proposed amendment?
So we don't have a proposed amendment per se.
No.
We just have directions from the council to discuss it, discuss if we need to beef it up at all. And I believe it was, if I recall, Mr. Peters, this was kind of something you had talked to the council about, had some ideas on this, so maybe
Correct.
we could kind of
yeah, there's some inconsistencies, you know, with the new code and then the older code, which I believe is still on Municode.
shouldn't be, but we can look at that.
Well, yes, it is on Municode.
The older code.
The older
right.
code is still on Municode.
Yeah.
But so is this also.
Okay.
They're both on there, so.
They're,
This one applies. The
Yes,
other one
sir.
is, this one
they're
does
not,
replace that.
this one's more lenient. It's not, you know, apples to apples. And there is some opportunities to bolster it up some. This would mainly applies to commercial development. So I'm not prepared right at this moment
Okay.
to say what that would be.
To tighten it up, you mean?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to provide me with that
Yes.
information?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes, before
Yes.
next month, right?
Yep.
Yes.
No, we're not-
Yeah.
So, yeah, so here we're kind of,
Yes.
the goal here was kind of discuss, see what y'all were thinking, what the public was thinking on this, and then kind of have Pat and the administration kind of look at those and see where they, make some changes to it, and then make those recommendations. or
The
bring it
challenge
to-
is, my experience working with landscape ordinances in several different communities is they're either built on a percentage of the lot basis, or they're built on a linear footage basis, or, there's like 3 different ways that they can be structured. You know, how you come up with the aggregate plantings that are required for
Mhm.
that, development, for the buffers, for the screen in the parking lot, the islands, foundation plantings. So I can put something together that kind of more clearly illustrates, if we went this route, this is kind of what it would look like. If we went, if we went the percentage of lot style, if we went the linear footage style or the other style.
Do you have a preference at this point of the ones that you've seen, or, and I'm not trying to put you on the
Yeah.
spot, but I mean, I know you'll be kind of making some recommendations, but
They all wind up putting you back at the same place. The preference, so I do this as my line of work. I'm a
Right.
landscape architect, so, and even having experience, working with them, we can, read some that you get through it and you're just like, what am I supposed to do? So my preference would be something that's very clear, to the developer, the client that's gonna have to put this stuff in. Very clear, very fair, and very, pro Diamond Head and how we're trying to position our downtown and future commercial developments. I kind of pick on the AutoZone, a little bit, but they were allowed to open, without putting, they didn't plant not one shrub, to screen their parking lot. So, we gotta get better than that.
well, and so one of the things we talked about in the last couple of weeks is that was an existing building.
Right.
And so what I was going to ask you is, what would trigger some of these thoughts with land? Because what we've got right now is if it's a new construction or an expansion of an existing building, it triggers, these elements that we've got.
Typically, yeah.
If it's just one business moving out and another moving in, it doesn't trigger it. So that, in other words, they were not under any mandate to follow the ordinance. So, my thought would be, do we change that trigger mechanism as to when this takes effect, and how do we do that? I mean, because we've got non-conforming
Definitely be more of
uses.
an authority on that. I wasn't aware that there was that kind of gray area. I would think that, one owner was the Family Dollar or whatever it was, dollar store, I think, Family Dollar. Yeah, and then that closes, someone else comes in, and
So maybe there needs to be a trigger.
I think so, when it's a new business.
Well, the trigger is if it's,
Same building, new business.
a new building, if it's new construction, and this
Yeah.
wasn't. And that's why they were not under any, so they were, I guess technically they're a non-conforming business, just like we have, non-conforming signs and things like that. And so long as they're, just because you change ownership, you don't lose that non-conforming status unless you guys recommend that something like that be that triggering
Yeah.
event. So that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Yeah,
So it's not
that's
really, it's not really gray, it's just, when we put this into place, we knew that we would have businesses that exist. We didn't place this burden on them, but we made that triggering event with the recommendation of Orion and others. We made that triggering event if it's new.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe this will be an opportunity for there more conformity with new construction, getting the old to conform with the new. I think a trigger for that, I don't know, wouldn't you?
I agree.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
agree with you, Diana. I think if there's a new business, it makes sense that you
Yeah.
would update the language so that
Nothing's
it
ever
would
gonna
trigger
get
that.
updated.
If we're gonna have people update and be consistent, just because it's an existing building.
In
They had
this,
to pour a new parking lot, didn't they? Didn't they do a lot of renovations to the parking lot?
I'm wondering why they cut all those holes in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I think they did some repairs to it.
yes, they were repairing the parking lot itself.
I know the
Because-
sign, ordinance is in pursuit of being changed to try to get people to update their signage.
Right.
It's the same kind of deal there,
And
right?
which we did require for all those zone to meet the sign ordinance of the monument
Yes,
sign.
sir. No, I
Okay.
know that.
But what I think he's talking about is
What about
that
someone that's in business now that has a non-compliant sign?
we talked about putting a sunset on all existing
Yes.
signs, and
Wow.
for several reasons, that's not passed yet, but
Right.
that's something that we've talked about. One of the things I think the administration with the construction with MDOT and the roundabouts, the businesses were kind of suffering. That was one of the reasons we put a little bit of a pause on that. But the sign ordinance right now is if the sign's replaced, if it's destroyed, then you do have to conform to the new sign ordinance. But, you know, so that, and this is similar. This is if you're non-conforming, but so long as you're not enlarging the business or demolishing it and building a new one, you're a legal non-conforming use.
So now that I understand a little more, I mean, my position is that we bolster the landscape ordinance, the tree ordinance, to where it's fair and commensurate with, communities on the I-10 corridor, communities near here that we all, you know, visit, and you go there and you're like, man, this place is just nice. They got really nice, you know, landscaping at all these, I'm not gonna name any, because everybody's kind of got something, an idea in their mind, right? And then when the new business comes, you know, they would have to comply, you know, and the business that will.
Whether they're in a new building or no building.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's, I understand what you're
challenge.
saying. It is a challenge. Family Dollar, that did not change ownership.
Uh-huh.
AutoZone did not buy that. They're leasing that.
Yeah.
And so you've got a bunch of commercial property here that people are just leasing.
That's, yeah.
So if a new business comes in, and all they do is arrange the interior of it, put new shelving in, lights, you know, maybe update the HVAC, all that, but to require them to do landscaping work to improve the property owner's property, or make the property owner do that, that would be difficult. That's a
Can we
real
put-
stumbling block.
Can you put language in?
You know,
Can you put language in if the owner has a new person that comes in and leases, that the owner then has to make the changes to upgrade the property?
Either way, the tenant's paying for it, they're just gonna raise the rent, you know, to cover the
Well,
landscape.
100%,
So,
but
you
if
know,
the owner's the one you have to hold accountable, it seems to me like you would just update the language to reflect that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have improvements, would be my thought. I mean, that makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with that.
Well, I mean,
I mean, we have a grandfather clause for stuff in the commercial area.
oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, I mean, basically, if you're moving in a similar type, same type of usage and all that, I mean, you're allowed to do that without having to make these
Any
improvements. You may
changes.
have to bring, say, you may have to bring the electrical service up to code, or maybe some plumbing or something internal inside it, but not constructed on the outside, not changing the parking lot, not the landscaping, any of that. So that is a conflict. Now, that's not my decision to make.
There's architectural review of the skin.
For new buildings.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. For
New buildings.
Yeah.
Not
Not for
existing,
AutoZone,
not
so.
for existing, and not for existing buildings, so.
I see the problem maybe, and I'm just thinking with AutoZone, most of their parking lot is parking lot. Where are you gonna get them to put, you know, something else? I'm just thinking, you know, like a tree or whatever it is, you know.
Oh, there's room. There's plenty of room.
oh, maybe,
But is it their
Maybe
property or is it the
case-by-case
city's
basis.
property, you know? I don't know, that's what I'm just throwing that out, I don't know.
Well, you know, some of it is just, you know, how do we want to position the community? Do we want to, you know, no offense to anyone that may live in Waveland, do we want to look like we're on Highway 90 in Waveland? Or, you know, do we want to look a little more like Ocean Springs or Fairhope or, you know, Covington, or, you know, they all have a bolstered landscape ordinance. There's a reason, it all comes back to that landscape ordinance, why you go to some communities and they seem to be prettier and nicer than others.
What I would like to see is improvements to the landscape ordinance for those developments going forward, okay? And let's make anything going forward how we want it, and then we can always come back and say, all right, we're gonna do a sunset clause. You're gonna have to make your stuff, excuse me, your stuff look as good as what the new stuff looks like.
Yeah, I
Like we're
wouldn't
doing with the sign.
require, I wouldn't ever want to require a business that's in business, you know, and to come and to them and say, you got to update your landscape. I'm not talking about that.
Okay, okay.
Just
I
saying,
don't think anybody is.
you know, if they go out of business and somebody comes into business in that building, then, you know, they're subject to it. But,
But he's saying it's not gonna be subject to it. There's no trigger for that in existing buildings.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
not,
that's too
it's
bad
not in there
because
now, but
Well,
that's,
your
that's
first
what I'm saying.
impression,
But it could
first
go in there.
impression is that Gex, where the roundabouts are?
Yes.
That's the first impression. It's
Yeah.
not the town center that we hope's gonna develop. You know, it's Gex. It's, you know, that's it.
Okay.
Pat,
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is still part of the, well, public
Discussion.
Yeah,
It's
discussion,
still
yeah.
part of it, so if you'll just, if you'll just mention your name. There
I'm
we go.
Joanne Rhodes, Joanne Rodasta, and I live at 6622 Golf Club Drive. I think with the new plan, that will bring the others up. When they see the new way of doing things in the new buildings, and a rising tide floats all boats, you know, and I think everyone will get on board with that. I think everybody wants a better Diamond Head. I represent the tree committee for the garden club, and we do a lot involved with the oak trees, and that's our main interest, myself and my co-chair. So we're going to be here looking for information about how that's going with that ordinance, because that's been about 2 years now, so we're interested in how that's going. But the most important thing I did want to say is that the mayor, I know, has spoken with our board of directors, and they want to be very involved. We were once told we would have a roundabout, whether we have one of our own or we make recommendations on what we'd like to see. There's some very knowledgeable women in our group, and I think they want to be involved because we all want to make that area that you're talking about when they get off the interstate. We want them to say, boy, this is a great place. We want to live. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think the discussion is, we've put some new standards in place for new construction. We don't have a lot of new construction going on, but that's our goal. We're spending, the city is literally going after grants, and we're spending millions of dollars on new infrastructure. We're hoping to lure new businesses here. In the meantime, how do we, you know, we've put in some things in place so that as businesses change, you know, as they're demolished and they're rebuilt, those things have to meet those new ordinances. But existing businesses, how do we go about, you know, and it's a balancing, you know, test. We've got some sunset clauses in some of these things that, you know, they're triggered if, you know, you lose your non-conforming use with your sign or your business if it changes in a certain way, or, you know. But do we want to add other triggers to, you got to meet the new landscape ordinance, you got to meet the new sign ordinance? How do we go about kind of speeding it up? Again, it's a balancing
Yeah,
test.
it is, and I would definitely defer to, you know, staff and council and, you know, others that have more experience, you know, with the sunset clauses and, you know, just being here in Diamond Head. I mean, we've only been here a year and a half, so, I think that a small improvement, you know, could go a long way, and then the whole sunset clause issue would, you know, I would defer to what others think is best there, for
All
sure.
right, why don't we work in this manner?
Yeah,
You
put some language.
put
yeah,
some stuff
some
together, and then we'll bring it
recommendations.
back at the next meeting.
Yes, sir.
And talk it up then.
Yeah.
So let's do some baby steps.
And I encourage all the commissioners, if you've got ideas, email them to Pat.
Right.
people, members of the public, get online, look at our ordinance. If you've got some ideas, email Pat. We're looking for feedback. You guys have been here, we've done some public hearings in the past. We've not gotten a lot of feedback, so we want that feedback on the front end. So we're not in a rush to do this, but, we spent a lot of time getting this new ordinance in place. Now we're really trying to fine tune it and see where we can tighten it up even more.
Sound good?
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So do we want to continue this till next meeting?
Yeah, all this was a public hearing.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And so Pat will take all those comments between now and the next time we meet and have some
Then
thoughts for you guys. and
revisit.
We'll
Okay.
revisit.
So we're continuing?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, we're not taking any action. We weren't prepared on any of these. We didn't
Right.
have any proposed
Proposed
changes
text
because we
amendments.
haven't really heard from you all.
Yeah.
The council set this up by saying, hey, we want some input. We
Right.
want to hear some ideas.
Good.
And so that's kind of the way we did it.
We wanted to hear some from the public too,
Yeah.
so thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The next one is a public hearing on a proposed text amendment to the tree ordinance, Article 7.1. The case file number is 202500601. All right. Public hearing, anyone want to speak?
Okay, well, tell me about the tree ordinance. I'm trying to read it really quickly.
Would you share some of, since it's the subject that you came
Yeah.
to speak on, would you share some of the
Yep.
garden clubs, the tree clubs, concerns and wishes and such?
And so once again, we don't have any proposed changes right now.
Right.
We've shared with you all the ordinance itself. I think one of your questions was, how is it working, and what are y'all seeing? So that's kind of some feedback we wanted from y'all.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we haven't heard any feedback. Of course, we haven't looked for any because we knew it was a new program that we were working with. Let me say this, we have 146 trees registered that are with the, with the Historical Society, and we still have a lot more to go. These are trees that are in clusters in different areas around Diamond Head, and they've been approached on a one-by-one basis. And over the last 3 years, we have got all those trees tagged with plaques, certificates, everything. We're very, very proud of that, and I think Diamond Head is as well. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much to do. Our concern is that we just can't get to them fast enough, and we really feel like they're not so much the oak trees, but we're concerned about the overall, can I use the right word, destruction of a lot of the trees that are going on existing lots and builds. So that's why, that's the real thing I want to know, and Gretchen, my cohort, we want to know if there are builders that are getting the permits, how it's working, are they following it, has anybody been fined? And so that's what I really want to know.
Okay. Okay. Y'all looking at me?
Well, he's gonna answer your questions, and then I've got something I'll add.
Okay. Yes, it is working. Is it perfect? No, but speeding tickets are not perfect. I mean, speeding signs are not perfect, so. And we have had 2 cases where we have fined the builders for taking out trees without a permit. And we have followed the ordinance in that is the current ordinance in that.
Right.
That they have to
Report.
they have to replenish, yes, okay?
Isn't it 6 trees or for
Well,
every one? Or
It depends.
on-
It depends on the,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes, it depends. What the ordinance says is you gotta supply okay, now, I'm not talking about protected trees at this point in time.
No.
Protected trees are in a different category, and we
Right.
handle that differently,
Right,
okay?
right.
I'm talking about removing a tree without a permit,
Right.
or clearing a lot without
That's
it.
it.
And
That's
that's
it.
your concern, correct?
Mm-hmm,
All right, we have two that we have fined, and they have had to either plant those trees, or they will have to give them to the city and plant them somewhere for the city.
I'm curious,
so-
were they locals? Were they people that should have known better? I'm just curious.
I don't want to answer that question.
Okay, that's why I asked it.
All I can say is that we are enforcing it,
I
okay?
now, and I think one of the ideas that came from the council actually did give us a little direction on here on some things that they wanted to see. So I think there's a perception that it's either not being enforced or people don't know it's being enforced. So two ideas, I mean, and we enforce ordinances all the time, but we don't typically publicize and say, hey, this guy got a ticket, hey, this guy got a fine. We do it, but it's kind of, so two of the
That's
thoughts.
the way I was raised.
Yeah. Two of the thoughts that came up is, one, that they have to have that tree clearing permit posted on the lot prior to the clearing taking place. I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, we post notices on properties all the time, so that could be one recommendation that you all make. The other is about incorporating a tree survey, a pre- and post-survey inspections as part of the permitting process. We can kind of talk about that. One thing that we have is based on the lot size, there's a number of residual trees that have to be left on there. So I don't know, if we know what's left on there, I don't know that it matters what was on there. If they've met the requirement of what they have to leave on there, it doesn't really matter what was there necessarily, but that's something, if you guys want to know it, if you guys want to have that, that's something we can talk about as well. So I think those are two things that that could go out there that could help with some of the public perception that, because the public sees a lot and there's no trees on it except for just on the extreme edges, and they say, oh, they violated, there's no
Yeah.
permit, they must have violated. When in fact, they either did get a permit, or we know it and we find them and we've put those sanctions in place.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So when a builder or person comes in to get a permit to clear a lot, are they asked about the protective trees?
ma'am.
Trees, okay. And so are we relying on that person to say, yes, I have 3 oak trees, 2, whatever? So we're relying on what they have to say.
No, we're going out and
We're going out.
we're looking.
You're going out and checking
Yeah,
it out?
we've got inspectors, we've got.
That's something we weren't
So-
doing before.
Right.
That's correct.
This is all new.
Right.
And,
That's correct.
yeah.
Yes, so we.
And
we're-
remember too, if your house, so protected trees are protected, but, a lot of the lots are smaller, and the footprint of your house, if there's a protected tree in the footprint of your house, you are allowed by right to take that tree down. It's
Yeah.
just, now, if you're taking other trees down, there's other ways of remediating that, and that is replanting on your property or on city property, there's other ways, but.
But if you say, okay, I'm putting my house here and I'm gonna have to take this oak tree down, or southern magnolia, I have to take these down. We don't take that at face value. We
Absolutely.
actually look and say, is there some way we can adjust the floor plan here to fit on the lot, to accommodate this? So we try to work through these issues and save the trees if possible.
Yeah, I feel real good. In fact, I almost felt like tearing up a minute ago because it's such a great answer. I mean, we're making progress. And I did want to mention that we do advertising about the trees, register your historic trees. So we're doing things more like that to get people that are tree owners that think they might have a tree over 100 years old to go ahead and call us instead of us going around looking at properties. It's a little difficult at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm thrilled. I can't wait to tell our club, and thank you. Thank you very much.
One thing, if you would call our office tomorrow and talk to Ashley, we started publication. I guess it's monthly. I'm not certain, I wasn't involved in it, but I noticed that we started a publication. Like Diamond Head News has their publication. Well, we've started one. It's online. It's not in a published format, but it's online. So if y'all would like to get in on that, I think that would be beneficial to the entire community to advertise that you're looking for these trees,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
To
We'll get them all. and we'll
get 'em
have
all registered, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all.
He's been chomping at the bit over here.
Years ago, when Elliott Holmes
Oh.
clear cut,
Absolutely.
you recall the uproar. That
Oh,
was
absolutely.
really the beginning of the tree ordinance.
It was.
That's correct.
And it's been, really, it's come a long way, and I commend you guys. I think we still have some way to go.
Yes.
But that was the beginning of stopping that kind of foolishness.
Yeah,
Yes.
agreed.
Let me ask you a
actually
question.
have an arborist that goes out and checks?
If I need one, yes. I can do a lot of it myself,
Oh,
okay?
I know what a
And
pine
it-
tree is. I don't know.
Okay. I can, tree identification I'm decent with. If I have any doubts, I have, with the Mississippi State, their extension service. Yes, County State, I have contacts over there, so.
Resources.
Yes, so I do have resources that I can call upon.
Now, my question is this, so they're coming in and say you're taking down 10 oak trees out of a lot, maybe they're a foot, 2 foot across, and you're having to put back however many trees. Which size are y'all requiring them to put back? Are they gonna put back a 2-foot oak tree, or do they have to put in one that's 4 inches around or 6 inches around?
So take a look at our tree ordinance. It does have some of those provisions. And so remember, the protected trees have to be of a certain size too. So in order to, it doesn't have to be just a certain species. It also has to be a certain
They're not gonna
size.
take down 10 beautiful trees and leave 10 scrubs, you
Nope.
know? It's,
And so.
Well, are the 10 beautiful trees, are they pine trees?
I like the idea of a pre and a post viewing
We
to verify what's happening is
We do that.
supposed to happen.
do that.
Okay,
We do that.
and is there something, because I understand there was a lot recently that was cleared and it was completely cleared and
Right there.
things are slipping through the cracks. Well, obviously, if it's going to,
people
but
are
if
gonna
they have to
violate
have it reviewed or looked at
Yeah,
before that.
People are going to violate the ordinance. But when
It'd
they
be nice to
do,
try to had that be proactive instead of reactive, if we
Well-
could possibly.
people speed, and we catch them when they do. We have
Right.
ordinance that say you can't, but when they do, that's where, as an administration, that's our, we're trying to get the word out, hey, don't do this. And most of our local builders, they know now, and they're not out there doing it. But somebody on a weekend, whose brother owns a bulldozer and doesn't, he may do it. And if he does it, well, then the rule that we've got now.
I think it was with the builder, not like a judgment.
7.1.13 is about prior tree removal. So if you do it without a permit, you can be denied your building permit for up to 24 months.
Right.
When you do this, unless you come up with a proposal to reforest
Okay.
that features a canopy coverage of 40% of the site and pay a fine of $500 per acre of
Right.
trees cleared and
I see
$1,000 per each protected tree. So, we could beef that up even more if you guys want, but we're kind of limited. We can't put people in jail we can't make it a felony. We don't have that authority as a municipality. But we can, when it does happen, we can catch it and we can put the penalties in place. What I think some of the pre and the post and the signage and things like that will get some of this concern of residents of, okay, I see it, hey, they've got a permit, so I can rest assured that they've.
I like that. I think we should recommend that, to go ahead and have that. I like that it would be posted so people would know that we are taking action, so we get credit for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that there is a review of the property, and then opposed, so we maybe know what was there to begin with, and then we know what they
Okay.
should have after.
So I think there's consensus on at least those two items that we can talk about, and maybe have something for you all at our next meeting to
That'd be
kind
great.
of beef up at least those two elements. If there's anything else, take a look at it. I know we've got our newest member. It's not that long. This is the second iteration of a tree ordinance since I've been the city attorney. We understand that there may be further changes, so take a look at it, whatever y'all think. Send to Pat, send to me.
All right,
We'll work on it and make some recommendations at the next time.
great. I will email.
Yeah, I noticed on Cherry Hill, there was a lot that was cleared, and it was stopped. Nothing has happened on that lot. Do you know what I'm talking about, the one I'm talking
Mhm.
about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Stripped it.
Mhm. Yes.
No, good. Kudos that we're making improvement, and we just got to keep moving in that direction.
Would you text me the address of that one you were talking about?
I will.
Thank you.
I will.
Is there, I haven't studied the tree ordinance. Is there, because you got a single lot homeowner, that's a residential development, versus, a developer that's coming in and building, several homes on 20 acres.
Yep.
So that's more of a commercial development.
We do.
Are there provisions for him as well on what he has to
He still
say?
has to pull a permit for each lot.
For the whole thing, he's got to get it, and
gotta-
we've got, if you look at
Around that and.
Table 7.1, the tree table shows basically the site area and what is required. So if it's just one lot,
Nice.
it's
One
one
tree
tree
per
per
1,000,
1,000 feet,
right.
yeah. If it's,
Over
if it's up to
110,000 square feet.
2.6 acres, then you got to keep 10 trees for the first 10,000 feet, plus one tree for every 2,500 square feet over 10,000 square feet. So there's some provisions in there.
Some of the most important lessons you learn are from the hard way. And I would have to say that the development at Diamond Head Lakes, and I won't mention any names other than that, really was a learning experience for this city in several different ways. From the tree ordinance, that's what spawned the tree ordinance. Okay?
The revisions, yep.
So, yes, the revisions to the tree ordinance. Now, they have to give us a plat, shows where all the trees are, shows
Right.
where all the protected
Yeah.
trees are. That, they have to do that. Now, if it's where a road's gonna be, it's gonna have to go.
Right.
All right. Unless there's some other way, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting more information now than we got before. We're able to monitor it better than we were before because we didn't have enough personnel.
Hire her.
Well, we didn't have enough personnel. You're looking for a job? So the thing I'm more interested in with this is the protected trees. I'm not sure that the list that we have here is the correct list. Should we be protecting some of those trees that are on there, and should they be replaced with other trees? Now, we don't want to make every tree protected, but we also want to make the trees that are most beneficial to this community, make them protected. So are they, do they provide some value in protection?
Are you the landscapers? You answer that question.
There are
I know an
trees
oak
on
tree
the
is
list that we shouldn't be
Protecting.
protecting.
Very good.
And
Yes.
we pared that list down. It
And I
was
think they're
getting
all
out of
small.
control.
And what's the difference in a protected tree and any other tree? Haven't really seen that distinction.
So the protected trees are defined by those actual, live oaks, southern magnolias, those
Yes.
names,
Yes.
at a certain height, at a certain diameter. Those are protected.
There's there's mention of trees called heritage trees.
Yes?
Or grandfather oak trees, you know, that are truly protected.
Right.
You know, this is a 60-inch live oak. You better route your road around it, 'cause you're not cutting it down.
Right.
You know, that to me is a protected
That,
tree.
correct.
But yeah, your list is, you know, there's some trees that are not as special as some of the others, and much faster growers. A lot of it comes back to, you know, a live oak's a slow grower, so, you know, a bald cypress grows like 3 feet a year, so, you know, we don't necessarily, and they traditionally grow in wet areas that aren't very developable anyway. So,
Well, I would be very interested on your input
yes, sir.
from that. I'm also going to get the Forestry Commission involved in that, looking at that, saying, okay, is this what you recommend for the coastal area here,
Yeah.
these trees? What grows well here? What
Right.
should we be protecting? So,
Right.
looking to get that input too. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the view we're looking at.
Cool. I love it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we will go to number 6, public hearing on a proposed text amendment to the fence ordinance, Article 4.3.10. The purpose of the amendment is to allow fences greater than 6 feet in selected areas. The case file number is 202-500-498. All right, open the hearing. Anyone want to speak on the fence ordinance text amendment? All right, we'll close that. All right, do y'all have any comments on that?
Well, let me tell you why we put this on here.
Okay.
One of the concerns that has come up with the sound barrier along the interstate and the walking path along the interstate is the people that reside there, that abut that, their rear yards do. And so our thought was, should we look at instead of just 6 feet for those areas, should we look at a higher, like 8 feet? Okay, or 7 feet, or whatever. But look at a higher fence that abut those areas. Another area that I was looking at is where the commercial area abuts the residential area, Diamond Head Drive East behind the fire station and the strip, maybe having higher fences there, say 8-foot fences there. So that was kind of the areas that we have this going on, the new sound barriers, and we've got the walking path there, and where they had woods before. So it's impacting those people. So is that enough to say, okay, in those areas, in selected areas, we do 8-foot fences? And that was my thought.
And just a little more background, so we have a rule that no fence can be greater than 6 foot, but it's not, there's no uniform, all of them have to be 6 foot in Diamond Head. So there already are some fences that are below that. But for those properties, they've come to the city manager, they've come to the building office and said, hey, I'm worried now, I've got, where I used to have woods, I've got people walking behind my house now, it'd be, I want to build a higher fence, and we just have that limitation right now.
Wait till they turn the lights on.
Absolutely. So we're addressing a concern that has come up from some residents, and, as Pat said, I hadn't even thought about it, but it's another idea for those properties that abut commercial property. We're always talking about buffers and what the commercial properties and those transitional properties have to do, but, can we give the residential property owners another tool that they can use if they want to, help mitigate any negative effects of being next to a
You can build is 8 foot?
6 foot is current.
No, I'm talking about against the,
Oh,
No, you could build a higher fence, but the pickets are all 8 foot.
Yeah, your standard
yeah, your standard
pickets
privacy.
are gonna be 6 or 8 foot.
Yeah.
So that's just, something that,
I would support that. The only downside I could see is if it, you hate to start requiring things of people, but if it's, you know, doing something like this guy's 6, he's 8, he's 6, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, no fence, you know, you're not gonna see any of it from the interstate because of the wall.
Right.
Yeah, so what difference does it make? Yeah.
Well, you see it when you're walking on the path and stuff, but, you know,
Well, there's some, excuse me, there are existing fences there now,
yeah,
and they're all 6 feet.
right.
Are they all, there's no smaller, they're all,
6 feet or less.
yeah, so there's already some, it's not a uniform 6 foot,
Correct.
you know, right now.
Correct.
So if
Yeah.
you allowed 8, you'd
Yeah.
still have some inconsistency, but those property owners would be, if they really are, you know, because some of them are really
Down.
low compared
path
to where
is
that path
elevated.
is.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think that
right.
was really the concern.
So this was something proactive we thought we could do. However, every time I try to do something proactive, I get my hand slapped, so maybe I
Has
shouldn't have done
somebody
it. But
asked for this?
no, nobody's asked
Well,
for this.
okay.
Well, yes, I'm sorry. Nobody has, as far as a permit requesting
Right.
greater than that, okay?
But residents have contacted the administration and
Right.
said, hey,
We'd like
could
that.
I?
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I guess defining selective areas will be the key to it.
Well, and yes, that is, and that's why it's not, okay, if residential area abuts commercial area, you know, the backyard, it can't be in
Or
the
if
front
you
yard.
abut that, that
Or
walking
if, or if
path.
you abut the new MDOT walking
Right,
path.
right.
I mean, just,
So, for wherever we have those areas that they need a little more privacy than they're getting today.
Yeah.
All right. That's where I was going.
I would want one if I
Any
was
further
living there.
discussion on it?
Oh, I'd be so upset about that walking path. Wonder why somebody didn't object to that. That's crazy.
I want to define it better.
I don't know.
So what I'd like to come back with you with is defined areas where this would apply, because that's the key.
Right.
I would want one if I was living there.
You would or would not?
I would.
Yeah.
For
If I lived against that wall, I would want
And
it.
I think
would want
most
something
people that
taller.
put themselves in the shoes would probably agree
Yeah.
with that, so.
That's why I was asking if there was something higher than 8.
I know,
because
right?
I'd wanna go.
Match that wall, match that.
The city should embark on a reforestation, on those. I ride that path a lot
Oh, okay.
now on
Yeah.
my bicycle.
Yeah,
Not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but,
it's not open to the public yet. I'm not gonna tell on you, though. That is MDOT property, so we've talked with them. They've been very responsive as they've gone. There's been some drainage issues that they've identified. They've added culverts that were not initially in their plans. You know, they've been very responsive, but keep in mind, that is an MDOT project. The city is not. We can call and complain like everybody else, but that's
Yeah, I
it. But
mean-
they have been responsive.
going forward, you know, if the
Okay.
city, if we partnered with the
Thank goodness.
forestry commission or
That's still a
whatever,
waste of
and
money.
even seedlings, you know, and just planted as many
Use it somewhere else.
trees as we could in those areas, because not all the lots are as bad as others. Some of them still have some woods between them and the path, and then there's a few that the path is like right on top of them.
It's a perfect area where some of those property owners that have to get rid of maybe some protected trees and have to mitigate it could put them
Put 'em
right there.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
I have them every once in a while.
Great idea.
It was.
Something on here about golf carts going across. Where is that?
Okay, so the staff will put something together and have it for you
Yes,
at
I
the
know.
next meeting.
Discuss that, I guess.
We'll try to define what those areas are. We may not get it perfect the first time, we may have to work on it a while, but we'll throw it out and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there any unfinished business?
No, we do not,
All right, open public comments to non-agenda items.
and there are none.
Any commissioner comments? All right, the next city council meeting is Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025. The next planning commission meeting is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. Is any announcements?
We do not have any cases for next month. Next month is an early, we have it on, the 11th was supposed to be the scheduled meeting date, I believe, because of the Thanksgiving holidays. We have no variance or anything, so we're not going to meet in November. We'll meet in December.
Or December?
9 December.
December 9th, yep.
Yeah,
So our next meeting is 9 December.
9 December,
Correct.
yes.
And so we'll have some of those thoughts together on these
Yes.
3 public hearings, and I think
Yes,
there's
take-
probably another
take the
couple of
Thanksgiving
things,
holidays off.
Right.
there's another couple of things that we've been kicking around that we got to get back to y'all on. We'll have some of those too, maybe, if I can get Pat to work.
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right,
All
that's
in
good.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.